in hopes that we wouldn't say it first. But truth must be told. Get him in here. And the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is disposable, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under it.
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Sloan lesson.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Hey, be sure you hit that like and that subscribe button. We got Rod backstage right now getting set up. Hey, man, that Illuminati tape, I'm going to put it out, try it again tomorrow, man. They chopped it up real bad. I guess they didn't want us talking about what we was talking about in that tape. Now, when Rod get on, we got a lot of secret society questions for him, and we'll also take some of your questions. We got a lot of interesting stuff, man, that went on at the Super Bowl here with the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. They saying there was a lot of ritualistic things dealing with the Baphomet and the Saturn worship. And, you know, I was wondering why would Kendrick Lamar have that A chain on? And they saying that it was even some subliminal with the A chain. It connected with the lyrics. It could be some connected with Atlanta. You know, it's a lot of things going on. We're gonna probably come out with a tape on that, decoding the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm still doing more looking into that right now. But the Chiefs lost. They even showed some lady up in the stand with a voodoo doll of the quarterback. What's his name? Mahomes. The lady had a voodoo doll up in the stand. Man, these people going crazy, man, with this these rituals. So, and because we're gonna be talking about that, the ritualistic things of how the secret society is ritualistic and what they do to us. Because that Super Bowl halftime was definitely secret society driven and ritualistic. I mean, everyone that I didn't see since I probably been aware of it has been ritualistic. Since the one with Madonna, since the one I think it was with who that was that time. Was it where they pulled her bra down? That was Jennifer no, it was Janet Jackson, I think. So it's always, here go Rod right here. Hey, y'all, Skype 8 at the North Gate. Hey, Rod, we got some good questions for you tonight. I know you got a lot of books and stuff that you had gave me a while back on stuff driven around this particular topic. It's really a Q&A, but I just got these couple questions, then we can go into, because they had the Super Bowl was ritualistic. The halftime show, I mean, it was straight alchemy, man. Now we can get into that on another, but this is the question I got for you. Now, why do they always gotta do rituals in our face on what they doing to us with these secret societies, all of these, the Black Hand, all these groups? why do they do all of these rituals in our face, hoping that we can't decode it or know what's going on? That'll be the first question. Go ahead.
First off, is the reason they do it in your face is because they have to show you what they're doing and give you the opportunity to discover it. They disguise it in political satire, sports, arts, and entertainment. They disguise it. When you start getting into the real sources of power and the wielding of power, it don't look the same. They need your energy, so they give you what's called a compelling spectacle. 48 laws of power say create a compelling spectacle. That means P.T. Barnum, sucker born every minute. The whole circus philosophy of P.T. Barnum, remember, when P.T. Barnum came to power, there was no TV, no radio, right? So he was entertaining people with far-fetched ideas that just might be true. So when they do the ritual in your presence, they make you party to the ritual. But you have to do something in order to participate, in order for the energy to transfer. For example, everybody decoding the halftime show. The ones of us who are waking up, this is the goal. They want you to figure it out. They want you to see what it all means, but they want you to work out the problem in the group math problem with other people of similar and like minds that can see the code. Because when you put enough of them together, you activate what's called a power module. So when we trying to decode it, we burning up the algorithm, telling them that we hooked on the Super Bowl halftime show. When they know that the algorithm is reading our involvement and association with the halftime show, they expect a certain number. If they get one person more than that, that means that they've harnessed all of the energy that they was expecting to harness from that event. Right.
That's
So
deep.
remember, I've been telling y'all they had to create chaotic episodes on their way out, kicking and screaming. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So these rituals is the lodges talking to each other. They using the artist as the puppet.
Right.
And because his mentality make him write his art in such a unique form, then they manipulate him by giving him the halftime show.
Right.
So now they got his energy, and it's tied to the energy of everybody watching and everybody that's gonna try to figure out in the aftermath. Only thing I cared about is Uncle Sam left stage left. Exit
Yeah.
stage left. He ain't coming back.
Yeah. And they had Samuel Jackson, who was the same dude that played the dude in Django Unchained when he came to the house. He said, "Oh, you got that
Mm-hmm.
in on a nag or whatever."
That,
So that
that, that wasn't no accident.
go ahead.
The same way I've been telling you they were sweetheart swindling the big mamas in order to marry into the family. And then they was telling us there was war going on. So if we leave, somebody might capture us and put us in slavery because of the war. This where
Uh-huh.
your slave narrative was born at.
Right.
Just the
Right.
labor pains of it. So when you see the character in Django, Samuel L. Jackson, he's the one who hired the paleface to pretend to be the boss of the plantation, of
Right.
Mr.
On the
Jones'
couch.
plantation.
Yeah.
And it was his job to try to keep the family that was out in the field from coming up to see what's going on in Big Mama house, because this ain't how she left it.
Yeah, you had ran it down to me before about how Samuel Jackson really was the real owner, and they had hired him as a front man to make it like they ain't the one doing it, this guy doing it, you know.
Hold on, Elder. I gotta drop.
Go ahead. Hey, y'all. So we got a couple more questions for Rod. But I know the guy had a Sudanese flag too, and they chased him. He got on top of Kendrick Lamar Carr, the Grand National, and they chased him down. I wonder what's that connection. We was gonna ask Rod that the Sudanese connection with America. Here you go, right here. Yeah, Rod. Another part that was interesting about that halftime. If one of the guys, I don't know if he was part of the show or not, but he was dressed like the people that was the dancers. He held up a Sudanese flag, if I'm not mistaken, and then the cops chased him off the field and tackled him. So I wonder, you see any connections with Sudan flag, and it could be
He
a
was
connection
in
with
Gaza. He was
Gaza.
talking about the struggle in Gaza.
Okay.
He was talking about the Palestinian plight in Gaza.
Okay. That's
All I
deep.
can tell you, if they tell the Palestinians to clear Gaza out, when they come back, it's going to be rubble.
Hmm.
So let Donald J. Trump tell them to go on and leave. If Donald Trump tell the Palestinians to leave, when they get enough of them out of there where they can minimize the collateral damage,
Mm-hmm.
they leveling that bitch.
Okay. Hey, this is my next question I got for you. Now, with the black hand, because we got a lot of newcomers, everybody's starting to become this black hand thing is really out there now. Like people starting to know. Now, this is my question with the secret societies and the black hands. Now, do the black hands have their? I heard of this group called the Pilgrim Group, and I figured out they was connected to the Black Hand, the Pilgrim Society, and the Jason Society. All these different. I
Okay,
think I'm
so
saying.
those what you hearing about when you hear about the Pilgrim Society,
Yeah.
this was creating a fraternal brotherhood, which under common law is a tribe,
Okay.
but under admiralty law, it's a 501c3 something else fraternal order brotherhood,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the purpose is to be able to function as a tribe while you live intermingle with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And your tribe was supposed to be in your organization.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They begin to use some of the regalias when you talk about the Black Hand
Mm-hmm.
to from the brotherhoods that came over here already established.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at your Confederate soldiers and your Union soldiers and you're looking at their uniforms,
Mm-hmm.
those are not tribal war dress,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
neither the North nor the South.
Mm-hmm.
When you see us wearing skins of animals, right? That's war dress.
Mm-hmm.
When you see us dressing in solid colors, that's war dress. Because in peacetime, we like colorful shit, all different types of patches, and you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
shout out to the Apache, Fort Apache, the Bronx, rocking in this mofo off of Wu-Tang Clan in the 36 chambers.
Mm-hmm.
Elevate your mind, free your soul, like In Vogue. Man, cold flipping, knocking and clapping back to the knockback on the zigzag flip to sew this bitch up.
So
What you talking about, Elder?
hey, so last year we know that we did this. There was a Super Bowl ritual, and the Chiefs beat the 49ers. Even though the 49ers was connected to the gold rush, where they, pretty much genocide people in California. But now we go to the Eagles versus the Chiefs, and the Eagles get beat down pretty much. I saw some lady in the crowd with a voodoo doll of Patrick Mahomes.
She was
Uh,
stabbing the shit out of it,
yeah,
was she?
you saw that. I was like, "What the heck? People going crazy, man. This is too far now." Hey, so what is significant about that in alchemy? Dealing that we know that all of this is kind of like some kind of ritualistic thing. What is the dealing with the Eagles, which some people say represents United States courts, or it could represent the original
The
people?
eagle don't represent the
Go ahead. I
corporation.
was gonna say that. Go ahead.
The eagle represent the republic. not the corporation. The corporation never recognized what we call zoo type, like national bird. That was the republic. The difference in the corporation and the republic is the corporation been pretending to be the government, but they not. The republic was supposed to be the interim government over the 13 original colonies that was given permission. Everybody that wasn't part of those 13 colonies didn't have a representative on the tribal councils across the land. But if they was tied to one of those 13 colonies, they know that the Queen Mother gave them passage or refuge from the tyranny of Europe. So the 13 colonies represents the 13 subgroups of people that came over here. All of them were still being controlled from the Crown of England. So the corporation is administering salvage rights of the Crown, right? As the corporation that administers salvage rights of the Crown, all of the agents of the corporation is supposed to be capturing the black folks, the dead folks, lost at sea, vessels at large, nationals with a nationality, to tie them back to a salvage right so they can know where your claim rests in dry dock, right? If you a national, when you in dry dock, they know what entity represents you in dry dock. You no longer under the law of the water. The dry dock today is called the prison system. All of the chiefs being held in reprisal for the debt of the corporation under the pretense in the operational manuals of COINTELPRO Rex 87 or Rex 84, the Global 2000 agenda. They told us what they was doing, and it was up to us to figure our way out. So when they telling us what they doing, because they have to. They don't have to tell us directly. They can code it. We have to figure out they code. That means that we have to think above the level of the ones oppressing you. That means you have to assume the identity of your God self and your God mind. We all gods, children of the Most High and the Great Mother. And you can't escape that. All of the women on earth have one common denominator: mitochondria. All the women on the earth can use the mitochondrial psychic network. And it's most powerful when they have children and take on the role of mother with zeal and joy for being a mother. Because now she's finna step into her full matriarchal power. This is all enacted in all of the stuff we see in arts, entertainment, sports, and political satire. Right? They mixing up rules to the game. They never told you what they was, but if you become what's called cultured, right? Once you become cultured, now you can access the culture. You're supposed to read the culture. The culture is going to tell you something that's going to defy what your historians is telling you, your politicians is telling you, your reverends, your imams, your kohanes, your rabbis, all of them. Your culture is going to give you a different expression because what's in the DNA cannot be concealed. It's going to express itself, and that is the salt of the earth, giving earth the culture. And the culture right now is a hip hop paradigm. That's a bunny hop. Unless you down under, then that's a root. a kangaroo,
Hey, my
unless
next,
it's a
go ahead. I had another question
unless
for you.
it's a wallaby. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Man, this is the next question because you told me to go study the learn early design. I got that book. I studied that book. Even did an analysis on it. And you told me to go get the Albert Pike's letter. I did an analysis on it. And so this brings my next question. Now, in connection with the Albert Pike's letter and these secret society Masons, the Masons specifically, and their plans, in conjunction with the Learn Elders of Zion, how do the black brothers? Because there's a lot of black, these so-called black. We know how they use that term, right? But the Nubian brothers who say they Prince Halls, right? They are part of the Prince Halls. You come in contact with these brothers, they don't know nothing about none of this. Like how's that happening? How does these some of these Nubian are they with the agenda? Are the Prince Halls with the same agenda as Albert Pike them? And is it all connected? Go ahead.
So you got to go back to the foundation of the Prince Hall Lodge and the purpose that Prince Hall himself wrote and Absalom Jones wrote. Prince Hall wrote that he seen the masters of the lodge wielding the power that was also common in our own culture. He's talking about what we call today voodoo. They used our rituals in secret. So Prince Hall wanted to give it back using the method of the oppressor. And Absalom Jones was his prime supporter in the establishment of the lodge, similarly situated, similar ideologies, joining together in order to disseminate the information in the lodge structure to the chiefs on the land. You got to remember the original purpose and the creation of masonry. It was to train a prince on how to become the king, right? And normally the kings that's pretender to the throne, rightful heir, is taught by the mother. This is where you get my son.
Right, mother and son.
Right, because she's the one who's going to give him his conscience so he'll deal fairly with the people. She's the one who's going to teach him the ways of the wise, right? Which is how to read your psychic abilities without people using it against you, right? She's molding and fashioning his character as mama's son, right? And 9 out of 10 in big families, you have the children is split. You got daddy's boys, daddy's girls, you got mama's girls and mama's boys. Normally the mama's boys and girls wear the red and the black. The daddy's boys and girls wear the blue. And this is what the Prince Hall Masons are, Blue Lodge, but they not the Masons with the contracts. You gotta remember. So you got your actual Masonic Lodge, which is not in a building. It's at the feet of the mother, where the true masters is being fashioned.
Crack them heads. Crack
But
them heads.
then you have what's called your contracted agencies. These are the ones that have the meeting halls. They are the free and accepted Mason, as long as they don't divulge the great Masonic secret. The great Masonic secret is who assaulted Hiram Abiff,
Right, go ahead.
right? That's the two ball cane flip.
The Jacobites. That's who hit them.
So
Yakub.
once the search for your two ball cane is your search for the great men in your life that molded you into being the best version of yourself as a man. When you wise enough to capture your two ball cane, you ready to go into your initiation rites to be moved off the playing board from a prince status, and now you got to go change clothes and dress up to be the king. It's good to be the king,
Yeah, hey, look, Rod, you talking square business. I'm telling you.
right? So remember, all of this is the reenactment of the Osirian resurrection, which is also known as the holy drama. Our day-to-day life is the scenes that we see in the greater scheme of the holy drama as it plays out to close and open age to age, yuga to yuga. You have artificially induced yugas created by magic. This is why we locked in the time loop. We locked in the time loop because it's conjure magic that gave us some stuff called time. And this also came with the moon. Because the moon is how they're using to regulate time. But we think they're using the solar disk because they map days in solar hours. But they keeping the time by the lunar clock, the silver key. The gold key is the astrology key, is the sun key. Right? But we want to be able to access the earth key, the end key. Right? The father of the earthborn, the master father, in order for the king to rise to his position as the head of the table. Reenacted in professional wrestling, reenacted in Hollywood animations, reenacted in their great storytelling on Broadway, in the music of everybody that's playing music. Everybody think they doing their own thing, but when you step back and look at it from the God view, it's just a great orchestra at play.
Now this my next question, because that brain, because you just said Inky. Now Inky's son Tahuti, right? Now, as I study all the secret societies, study all the people that say, "Oh, I started this order," or "We started this order," and then if you look at them, they all got studied Tahuti. They say, "Oh, well, his name is Tahuti, Termes." Nigga, the same nigga, right? Termes, say Tahuti, right? So, but where did they go dark at? Because it seemed like Tahuti didn't really deal in the dark, even though he probably he had to know something about the dark.
Listen,
Go
when
ahead.
they tell you about wizards learning the ways of the wise, sages learning the ways of the wise, you can't be wise if you can't be equally functional in the dark and the light,
Go ahead, break it down.
right? In order to be a master magician, you got to master both the benevolent conjure and the malevolent conjure. And the only reason why shamans do bad magic is to offset all the good magic they did. And they don't really want to do the bad magic, but they know that sooner or later somebody not going to take no for an answer, and that's out to balance that energy out from doing all the good magic. But the frauds, all they want to focus on is the bad magic and abuse the power. And now they gonna get the karma, what karma gonna bring to them, because they was in it for selfish greed.
That's the next question I got for you. Now, because we get talking about secret societies, but let's deal with alchemy, because you one of them high power alchemists, especially with decode. Now, let me ask you this: so when you say they doing bad magic, does that have repercussions? Is that a resonance frequency coming back off of that? Is it come back from that? Can you just go out and cast a bad spell on somebody, and then how does that work? The energy flip on that.
Look, it's like everything you do to somebody from the wrong place in your heart, it's like a rubber band of energy is attached to it. Sooner or later, when they forgive you, it's gonna snap back, and guess who's gonna own that bullshit? You can't keep doing wrong and never change, because now you stuck to the left. Then the angel of the righteous gonna have to come through and smite thine ass with this sword, right? So there's a time for it. The dark arts, as it's called in some places, the black root science, the law of the nine, or the science of the nine ether. right? All of these things is pieces to a greater puzzle of unwrapping the Masonic secret of who struck Hiram, right? In this case, it was the three conjurers that had us in the stupor. It's the Kingu spell given to us in ancient Sumer. It's the Amun spell or Amun spell given to us out of the 18th dynasty in the priest wars in Egypt, right? And then you have your Civil War revolutionary conjure. That was the blood sacrifice in the Crispus Attucus. And this was brought to us by John Dee informing the Queen of England on how to put us in that stupor. Just give us all amnesia. And then they use it and justify it as the great experiment, nature versus nurture. If we look alike, we should act alike, but we don't. Our principles and value at the core of who we are is not the same. We believe in the agenda of putting yourself in optimum position so you can help the most people. They believe in put yourself in the optimum position to take the most shit from the most people. That's not the same character typing. They sell their children, their mama, their siblings. They have no loyalty in their heart for the ones that they supposed to love, care for, and protect. But we will give you the full-fledged business about our mamas and our daughters and our sisters and our brothers and our nieces and our nephews and our cousins and our homeboys. They ain't like that. They'll set it up, but when the shit hit the fan, they ain't nowhere to be found. And we keep falling for it. Our children still falling for it in the street right now. The arrogance of the one that just bought the AK-47 that make him feel invincible, not realizing that it's another guy down the street that just bought a SKS that make him feel invincible. And lo and behold, thus the two must meet. Right?
Right.
We got something to prove, but we don't realize that we fighting the war that our enemy gave us to fight so we wouldn't fight him.
Man, that's cold. Hey, that brings my next question, Rob. So you probably been watching the news lately. I think this in Cleveland. The KKK, white supremacy, is now invading their neighborhoods with flags and signs, and the cops are protecting these guys. And the Nubian brothers are getting aggressive towards these guys. Do you think this is another part of their secret society? George, what's that dude named Sorrows, Black Lives? Do you think it's one of those games trying to start this race war or whatever? You heard anything about that? About that Cleveland thing with the guys
You
out
got
there?
to first remember that the most powerful tool of divide and conquer ever been hatched on earth is called racism. It's the coldest, most effective tool of divide and conquer ever devised in the minds of men. Now, that being said, when you see at a time like this, where we telling people what's going on, and we already told them that they was going to try to create this spectacle of this race war. Charles Manson told us in the 60s, Joseph Sinku told us in the 70s they was hired to start a race war. If we some damn fools and fall for it, let them fools march by themselves. Don't go out there and protest them because you actually lending energy to support their claims. But if they was the only ones out there, who the fuck give a shit? Everybody got a right to worship under their own vine and fig tree. But I'm gonna tell you this: if all of them don't got blind hair and blue eyes, them niggas passing too. Talking about they white supremacists.
That's a fact. That's a fact. They all had masks on from what I seen. They was in black and red. I don't know if they were KKK they were white supremacists, but I don't know
They
if,
was Nazis.
huh?
They were supposed to be Nazis.
Oh, Nazis. Okay, Nazis. Then with Elon Musk doing the thing, it's like it's bad timing. So it seemed like a
No, it's
rig
not.
to me. It's like a rig. It's perfect timing, like for the rig. For the
Yeah,
rig.
it's the ways
Trayvon Martin.
it's the ways of a saboteur.
Hmm.
If they see us getting our shit back, right, and they realize that when we get in power, we gonna start all of the remaining dirty players is gonna be held to fire,
Right.
quite literally. I want to do a guillotine concerto where I pull one lever and that must go on for 15 minutes. Chop, 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 chop. Get rid of all of them.
Yeah.
When they come back, they're gonna act like they got some sense. Them the
Yeah.
traitors. Them the traitors. Loyalty enforces itself.
Yeah.
Loyalty enforces itself. So when you catch somebody that then betrayed you and been disloyal and deceitful and trying to usher in your downfall, you within your rights to step on that motherfucking rat right where you seen crawling under your bed.
That's
You
right.
justified,
That's right.
right?
Yeah.
Then I keep telling everybody it's about to come a time real soon that a whole bunch of good people with violent tendencies gonna be required to do some real bad stuff to some evil people with some rotten tendencies
Right.
to abuse and misuse everybody else. It's gonna happen.
Makes sense though. It's a
But I tell you what, when everything's said and done, the giving the women back to earth the best thing they can do.
right. Right.
Not just because I'm beholden to the women, because I love women, but because under the matriarchal order, you don't have broken families, broken households.
Right.
You know what I mean? The
Right.
head of the family, if the woman got a divorce, he got to take care of her. She ain't supposed to get no fucking alimony. She's supposed to go back to the head of the household. But when the family broke up, you don't have no head of household that's your tribal leader. And if you try to re-establish it, they label you as a criminal enterprise, change the name from tribe to gang, as if a gang don't mean a tribe, to accuse you of being something called a criminal. They use your culture to oppress you with it. Practice your culture, tribe up, we coming for you. It's war. All our warfare, eye for eye.
2 for 2. And that brings my next question. Now I notice when I go and study these guys, and I've been studying them all week, and I've been studying them for a long time, but this week I'm really focused on secret societies. I noticed that these guys got a certain amount of rules that they follow. Like it's certain rules that they follow that they don't break. Like if you don't got no deal with them, they really like say like the stuff that you be saying. People saying that man, all the stuff Rod saying about the secret society, all the stuff they should have been came after him by now. But they got certain rules amongst them to where Rod don't got no deal with us. He never made an oath with us, so technically he's just like one of those freak of natures that just can say like we can't really mess with him technically because he don't got no deal with us, that type of thing. So what is your take on them following these certain types of rules and got like they real strict on their rules and the guidelines that they
It's
follow?
a code of conduct. If you can't don't have the self discipline to follow a code of conduct, you expendable. You the crash out dummy. You the one they finna send to pull the dummy move. They gonna send you to drive down Bourbon Street shooting out the window like a damn fool. Cause you can't follow the code. They gonna make you blow yourself up in your truck in front of a Trump Plaza in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cause you won't do they bid. You
To make
won't
sure.
honor their code. They was knocking for the Manchurian candidate, and he told them no. He didn't want to do nothing to Ali Carter. Leave that
Mm-hmm.
girl alone. She done been through enough. Y'all just mad because she exposing y'all underground network of pedophilia. Leave her
Mm-hmm.
alone. Y'all won't see something bad happen, do something to her.
Right. And that brings me to my next question. Now, it was this dude named William Bryant and Bob Hope. You ever heard of Bob Hope?
Yeah.
All right, so I kind of find out when I'm studying these files, because a lot of this stuff got opened up this year. It's kind of find out these guys were hypnosis for the CIA, and that a lot of the people in
Hypnotist.
Hollywood, yeah, hypnosis. Him, Bob, and it's another dude named William Bryan Jr. You ever heard of that dude? Let me see, make sure
That
this the
sounds
right.
familiar, but
Yeah,
I probably read about him somewhere.
he the one that hypnosed the guy to take out Robert Kennedy.
Mm.
Because and look,
Yeah.
he the one that actually directed the Manchurian candidate. Yeah, this nigga, yeah, why? When I was going through the paper files, I almost fell out the chair. I say, man, look, this right here,
You,
I almost fell
you
out the
know,
chair.
out of the names you mentioned, Bob Hope stick out the most because you remember he was a comedian that used to hold the USO entertainment for the troops during Vietnam and Korea War.
Oh,
He
yeah,
that,
bro, yeah, that's
right
okay.
now.
Makes sense now.
Remember the guy from the Gong Show. He was using the Gong Show, traveling the Gong Show to different places while he do hits for the CIA.
Yeah, see, they got some stuff like that in the file. I just scanned through. Bob Hope name came up real thick though.
Yeah,
Uh,
Bob Hope. Bob Hope is an anomaly. He's like a meteor in the timeline. He did a lot of shit.
yeah, so what what I gathered is that these guys pretty much control Hollywood. Like you had to go through Bob Hope and this other guy. They were like the background manipulator guys. They call them programmers. That's what they call them, programmers. That's what they call Bob. They got Bob Hope listed as a programmer. And they whatever they MK Ultra program, and this dude Brian Williams, they were like handlers, and they had trigger words for certain people based on what this document was. And they even control all the writers. They even hypnosis all the writers and people that drew all the pictures for Walt Disney, right?
Hmm.
And so all this is connected. And come to find out that right before that they built Disneyland and Disney World, the CIA stopped the construction on it so they could come in and build these underground facilities that over there. Uh, and come
Well,
to find out they got their own,
whole
huh?
family's been coming up missing in
Yeah,
Disneyland for years.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm finding out. Like it's a lot of creepy. It started to get creepy once you go down that railroad.
Okay, so we gotta remember, you got different secret societies that perform different functions.
Uh huh.
Some secret societies today is actually called 501c3 nonprofits.
Mm-hmm. That's right. School of
You
Mama.
got the ADL and the JDL.
Mm-hmm.
They work for more Zionist Jews that's darker than me and you, Elder.
Right. Blacker than your shirt.
But they use those pale faces to push their agenda as if all of the Jews got pale faces.
Right.
We never look at the ones Noble Drew Ali was bickering with
Right.
because we thinking that the Jews that's infiltrating us is the pale face, the Ashkenazi and the Sephardi,
Yeah.
the Khazarians. It's not them. They the cover story. They the cat's paw.
Yeah. The fall
They
guy.
the they the fall guy, the co-seavers, the crash dummy. The dummy they put in the car when they gonna crash it into the wall to see what
Yeah.
happened to it.
Damn, that's cold, man.
Right, because remember, this was goes back to the other question too about the little Nazi group. The whole thing is they want us to be so mad when we come out of the slumber that we go on a rampage of kill Whitey, but we ain't falling for the shenanigans and the banana in the tailpipe no more. They getting frustrated.
Yeah.
And then they chaotic, contrived events. Them people probably did go down there. They probably was allegiance with some Nazi group, but they were sent down there so they could put it in the news.
They got paid.
Right? All of them is paid actors.
Yeah.
And actors don't always mean Hollywood acting. It also mean participant in something.
Right.
Right? And you be wondering, like, if you go back to the George Floyd thing, and they say they're gonna have a march for the shooting of George Floyd, and at 6 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock, I'm watching the news camera. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, a whole marching crew of pale faces come bending the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was so obviously freaking staged that it looked like they was filming the movie and we was watching the backdrop of them film the movie.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, so, like, and then if you notice, they pull this Ben Crump thing and all this. And then I was also reading the different type of agents they sent out. And I was like, dang, Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton sure could fit as a description that they gave for some of they Manchurian or they mind control agents that they used against us to calm us down. The way they was describing. I'm about to put the tape out about it. Like, I had put the tape out today, but they chopped it up so bad to where it wasn't saying what they were saying no more. So I'm gonna try to do another route. But I had to tape out today where it was breaking down how they sent all these different agents in and used our own people, these to get your hand out of my pocket, people. You know, get your hand out of my pocket.
Them niggas.
Huh?
I said, yeah, them niggas.
Them niggas right there. And them the same niggas that went and told that the shots came out of the bushes when they know it came from the tower, from the fire shot tower, man. Same niggas. Same niggas with no town. They said we moved out the way so they can make the shot. And
you know, out of all of the civil rights activists that got assassinated, the only one that was unequivocally assassinated by a pale face on strictly racist motivations was Medgar Evers.
Okay.
All of the rest of them was either sabotaged by a nigga, set up by a nigga, or murdered by a nigga.
One or the other.
And they telling you the white man the problem. What you missing?
Damn.
Every time one of us figure it out and we get ready to go to Washington and collect our check, one of us murder him or set him up.
Damn. So the person that shot Malcolm, I mean, was it Martin Luther King's son or his wife? Wasn't that a black Jewish guy? And
his mama was sitting in the front pew at church. A Hebrew Israelite dude looked like he batshit crazy, walked into church to the front row and shot Martin's mama in the face.
MK.
Straight up Manchurian candidate.
All day long. Like, I wonder why they think that we can't. Like, that's interesting, man. And then after they win,
they wanted us to know their involvement in the assassination of the King family members. That's why they sent him in there.
Send us a message.
Yeah, that's like when they sent Vito Corleone that bulletproof vest and that fish.
Yeah. Yes, it means,
and everybody standing around talking about what do it mean? What do it mean?
Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
Sleeps with the fishes.
It's a Sicilian message. I like the
that's what that is. That was the message some niggas telling you. And now we over here, we full-fledged some tribal name that's no longer in the history books and we can't pronounce, calling ourselves some Hebrew Israelites.
when we ain't
You
crossed
know
over.
they not us because their cultural background, the description of their culture is in their religious work. In their religious culture, our religious culture over here on these lands don't allow us to eat babies.
Right,
That's not in our spiritual best interest
right.
over here. In their spiritual interest, it's okay for the rabbi to suck the baby dick, long as he call it a circumcision.
That's crazy. That's
That's
crazy.
not part of our culture over here. That's
That's
a
crazy.
foreign invading influence on our culture.
Yeah, the Canaanites, the Baal worship.
That's all of those ancient gods was before this religious shit. This Judaism, Christianity, and Islam is the problematic spiritual teachings because it brainwashes you instead of liberates you. It traps you in box after box after box.
That's what
In
we got.
Islam, you can't even go to work without having to stop midway through your first session and do a salat.
That's fact.
Then you got waiting on lunch. You got to stop again, do another salat before you can even go to lunch. That's fucking retarded. That's hostage holding. You holding them hostage.
Yeah, and Jesus said, "Don't do that, though." Jesus, that's the only part about some of the stuff like that. Jesus said that you don't gotta pray but one time. You don't gotta keep telling me. Once you tell me
Look,
one time what you want, get on
one
about
of the, one
you
of the
know.
coldest verses in the Bible is it say, "These people draw nigh unto me with their mouth, but their hearts are far from me,
Right,
teaching as commandments the doctrines of men."
right,
And I was like,
right.
"Yep."
Islam got
For
its good
many,
points.
for many
Islam,
will come to me in the last days and say, "I cast out devils, healed the sick, and raised the dead, all in your name." And the Lord will say, "Get thee hence. I know you not, you workers of iniquity and false prophets and idol worshippers." Now, why would the person that you calling on doing all this stuff reject you when they get here?
go ahead.
Remember, you say, "These people will come to me in the last days," right?
Yeah, Lord, Lord,
And what they gonna say? "I
Lord.
cast out
Yeah,
demons.
yeah,
I raised the dead. I
in your
healed
name.
the sick, all in your name."
Yeah,
What name they use?
exactly. That's the next question.
Then that take us to Proverbs 22. A good name is better, more precious than gold and silver.
They also talk about that in another verse in Romans, where they said that it was he was given a name that by that name. So it's all them verses connected.
So the easiest way to lead you astray is to change the name.
Facts.
All you got to do is change the name, and you automatically got everybody who believe in the name following the wrong name
That's a
in the
fact.
name of Jesus when it's supposed to be ISIS. You gonna get
I
rid of the great mother for a little sissy boy playing he got a Bible in his hand, coming out surfing on the cloud, hanging 10, coming around the bend with the Philharmonic Orchestra on the bigger cloud behind him, coming to rescue you for the rapture, you up to heaven with his father.
I heard that perspective too, because I
That's
heard
the
that.
that's the most ridiculous and absurd shit a person can tell you to insult your intelligence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
If
heard
this
that.
motherfucker comes surfing out the clouds like he a goddamn a hippie surfer with this stringy beard slinging behind him in the wind and a Philharmonic Orchestra
Yeah,
following behind him,
yeah.
I quit.
Yes, it's a lot of that stuff. See that they took a lot of that stuff. Yeah, they took a lot of that stuff from the sun worship and put it into Constantine them and tied it into the real, the real storyline. Not so like a lot of that stuff is a tribute to the sun, like the sun in the sky. It's not even a tribute
Mhm.
to a prophet, person. you know. So it's like so the story is like when you say, oh yeah, well, dude come out the clouds, you talking about the sun, the S-U-N. You ain't talking about no physical being. You talking about somebody walking on the water. You talking about the sun coming over the water on the Nile when they, it's all it's a whole bunch
I
of
don't
it's.
look at it. I don't know what them folks talking about. But you got somebody in. Look, you got somebody in the chat trying to tell me the Hebrew name of somebody who was named in Greek.
Yeah, we talking about Yahshua.
They
What you
trying
say?
to tell me a Hebrew name of somebody who was named in Greek.
Yeah, Isus is how they said it became Isus, then Jesus, then Jesus once the monks added the J to it. So at first
Mm.
it was I see what you're saying ISIS because it really was Isus. I can see how they could have got ISIS from there. Then you got
But
Esau.
that ain't even proper pronunciation using the characters of the Greek and the rules of grammar.
Could be, but it's I know in
The
Arabic.
literal proper pronunciation using the rules of grammar is it's IES OUS. So the
Yes,
capital I silences the E. The S silences the O, makes the UH sound as the U crashes into the S for to carry it out with the H sound.
ISIS.
It's ISIS all day long. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me, but you can't tell me that I don't know the rules of grammar.
Oh, no, I ain't. No, you know me. I
I ain't
don't
talking
set
about
nobody
you.
wrong.
I'm talking about
Yeah,
them religious folks.
yeah, I don't set
Now,
nobody wrong. I just take in perspectives.
when they realize that they gonna find out that that was a 21 part play written by Josephus Flavius in the
Right,
time when they didn't have television.
that's right,
They didn't. They all they had was coliseums and plays.
that's right.
And the 21 part play was supposed to be a 21 different people looking at the so called chosen one and telling a story about when she come.
Right.
We come around the mountain when she come. When
She
she
comes
come.
around the mountain where she comes. You might just shave people's head bald right there. They probably don't even know it after that part. Should be coming around the mountain when she. They always get us. Yes, another thing, Roy. Okay, yeah, I'm glad you said that, man, about the jingles, the different jingles. Now they said that Bob Hope and them and all these other guys, they hired Pacific people that was like Druid. They got to be a certain level trained under the Druids, and they write these jingles like the Alice in
Well,
Wonderland.
it's not just what they're looking for is a level of musical mastery.
Okay,
In the most common places that they used to look in the old days was in the secret societies that emphasized the arts in order to develop the feminine nature of women and to the overly masculine males to calm down his testosterone energy.
uh-huh.
So they would use theater and ballet and song. And so when you hear about a group of these people coming out of the same secret society, it was geared to prepare them to be music writers and singers and instrument players. But then you have something that comes along and they call him a prodigy.
Yep, yep.
And they can exploit him early on because his musical genius is magnetic to the ears of the people, the Pied motherfucking Piper.
Just like Quincy Jones became the one of the protocol guys for their society, especially about for me because he wrote a lot like Fresh Prince of Bel Air in
But
the
look,
house.
even before that though, Quincy didn't come to fame doing jazz R&B. He came to musical prominence doing movie scores.
Okay, go ahead. I know that.
Doing the movie scores, he was able to access a higher bracket of Hollywood integrity than anybody before him.
Huh. That's how
And you
Quincy.
got to remember, Ray Charles was taking the blues into orchestra,
Go ahead. Yep. Yep.
right? It's the same with Barry White.
That's
They
right.
was using the orchestra principles as their foundation for developing new and compelling music.
Yeah, classical, mixing classical with
Right.
jazz and
And
all
we
that.
already know that Barry White flat out told you he was a self-made god,
Right, straight up.
right? And in order for him to reach that level of mastery, you got to put in the practice and the work.
Yeah, that dude can play any instrument. He can write a whole fucking orchestra. Like he's a maestro for real, like the real maestro. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't call him that for no reason.
Right,
You look at the Motown machine and the writers in there, Hayoka High Priest, Smokey Robinson was a prime writer,
right,
right? And they drew other people in, but they was all centered around the writings of Smokey Robinson. He a full-fledged Hayoka High Priest all day long,
right,
right? That's why he can tell you he proud to be black, but he ain't no goddamn African because he know who they are,
right.
right? And people be like, "Oh, he just don't like himself because he don't want to be black." Nah, he understand beyond the veil,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? He tell you how to read the tears of a clown.
Now, for our okay, let's just say this. Okay, so we got like people like Oprah Winfrey. You know, we know for sure she's a part of some kind of high rank. Or ain't no way you get
She's
a
a, she's a
huh?
Delta. She's a Delta from a college fraternity.
Okay,
She's pledged Delta,
okay, Delta. Okay,
and then
so
she dipped by the boule.
okay, the boule. Okay, I can see that. And then usually I always had a Jew. They always say they got a Jewish handler, but they never mention him. Maybe it might be some dark black haired guy popping them. You know what I'm saying? They got a Jewish handler in the background. Like I always knew. Like they said that Oprah Winfrey, when you go chase her back, you find out it's a Jewish guy. That's her handler. Uh, all these billionaires, every billionaire, it's always some kind of. They'll never show the guy. They just say, "Oh, it's a Jewish guy that she's close and good."
Okay,
Good.
then you got to look at why that is. There's
Go ahead.
more than one reason why that is.
Go ahead.
Historically, the best people in the American legalese system
Right.
have been classified as Jews.
That's facts. I heard that.
And most of the entertainers' interest is protected by the attorney that they hire to represent their interests and help them manage their estate. He's permanently on payroll.
Right.
So it's a lawyer that got a permanent check coming. He only got to look at your stuff a couple times a year, make sure you ain't fucking up. But he can still practice law somewhere else on somebody else's case.
Right.
So how many people does it take for him to get massively paid? Then they have a network of brotherhood, an organization where they sit around and they make sure everybody got a client,
Right.
right? These people became known as handlers because they handled them people's money.
Right.
And some of the handlers, when you go back to the 50s and 60s, would have total control of the artist's money. And if they decided to walk away, they could take all of their wealth with them, as has been done, without consequence, because the artist was signed to them as a representative.
Like Jerry Heller.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Heller, Easy E them, you know, with the you know how that went down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, this
Jerry Heller. That was the Jerry Heller walked into them goddamn uh, suits and bow ties.
right. The dark hand. Black hand was working Jerry
No,
Heller.
no black hand there. That was a straight up in your face FOF, motherfucker. You ain't finna come over here and keep doing this bullshit.
Oh, you saying the FOI got with Jerry Heller and shut him down?
You don't remember an Easy story when they had to go to that's when Ice Cube left.
Yeah. They went to the White House.
And then Ice Cube sent his one of his homeboys a FOI to go talk to Easy. Easy then was asking the FOI about using them for security. He was using Crips up until then.
Yeah. Yeah. Big Crips too.
And then when Jerry Heller seen them bow ties when he walked in, he like shit on himself. He thought the gig was up, but the
Man,
gig was up. He just didn't know it.
yeah, it was up. He got rid of him eventually, but just used him as like you know, kind of
If
like
you
a
pay
front.
if you pay attention, the only ones that they don't mess with is the fruit.
Right.
They push up on everybody else, gang banging and
Yeah.
fucking set tripping. And I ain't talking
Yeah.
about us. I'm talking about them big bankers.
Yeah.
I'm talking about them Hollywood execs.
Yeah.
Right? They'll send somebody that look like you down in your neighborhood to pay somebody you grew up with that's got a little bit of jealousy to shoot you in your face
Yeah. Yeah.
as a sacrifice.
Man, honestly, I believe now, man, I'm starting to think with all the new images that I got of Diddy supposedly in jail, they don't even look like Diddy, man. They said that all of a sudden one day, and it said like the same storyline they gave us with Epstein, that all of a
These
sudden,
the same storyline that is tied together.
oh, okay, he had a heart
They
attack.
they tied together when they start releasing a lot of information. It's the Diddy files is gonna drag out the Epstein files.
Right.
The
They
Epstein
all,
files gonna drag out the Podesta files,
right.
and then it's gig up from there.
Anthony Weiner's laptop, I mean, domino effect, right? Because we forgot about Anthony Weiner's
Look,
laptop.
this stuff look like it ain't even got no relation to it, but it's directly connected.
Yeah.
You gotta remember. So why is Puffy filming these freak off parties? He's getting dirt on people. Why
Because that's
was
part,
Epstein inviting people to the island to get dirt on people?
right.
And you think they not trading in smut?
Right.
You think that Puffy never heard of Epstein while he was doing his freak off
Right.
parties?
Right.
He never met Maxine Ghislaine Maxine. Look, it's like what my man said in The King of New York. If it's a nickel bag sold in the park, I won't eat. Them human traffickers is more territorial than drug dealers.
Yeah.
They need to control as much of the operation as possible. Let somebody from the outside bring too much heat.
Man, I
Then they
know.
all got to get their children from somewhere.
Yeah, that's right.
And while they getting these babies, they getting them through child protective service agencies,
Yeah.
third world relief project agencies,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? They buying them directly off the carts on the evergreen tankers.
Right.
They bidding and auctioning them off like meat, disguising them as furniture on Wayfair and Walmart
Yeah.
websites.
Yeah. I did analogies on Diddy's, like a psychological analogies. And a lot of stuff I found out that I didn't know that may tie in. Okay. So his dad was a driver for Frank Lucas. His dad name was Melvin Combs, I think that was his name. He was
Yep,
a driver for Frank. Turned out I think he ended up snitching on somebody and
yep,
they put him out of business. Okay. So Diddy could go connect back with Bumpy and Frank Lucas and all of them, right?
yep.
Uh so Diddy, to me, it seemed like the Diddy would have that type of that mafia type mentality. Get some dirt on a guy. He come from that type of background. Have some on the guy. And then you can use that as leverage. So I think that a lot of the people in the industry was happy when Diddy went down because he was extorting half of them. He probably was extorting Ursha, everybody that he got videos on. Like, look, if I got a video on you getting hit up the butt, and I say, look, man, you got to come up with 10,000 or some area, month or so, or else this video going out of, Brian Papa ripping your behind wide open. And you gonna pay that 10 grand if you Meek Mills or somebody like that. If you somebody that's out here, going around, I'm a Crip, I'm riding the 6'4", I'm a Crip blood from the West Coast. But then Diddy got you on tape and somebody opening up your can. How is they gotta look for your gangster? I'm a thug. This masculine
There's a
principle.
whole bunch of download niggas that's gangster.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Don't let that fool you. Look, if some of them gangsters go out and kill 10 people and come back and want bend over and want you to put something in them. Don't you believe for a minute because they gangster, they don't mess around. Right.
That's
That's why
crazy.
niggas get raped in penitentiary because you got fags in the penitentiary raping niggas. And they normally pick on the weak. Then you find people like me, you find all these little characters running up to you that you don't know from Iraq and Iraq seeking help to protect them from some predatory, twisted minded individual gangster.
Right.
Called himself a gangster. He hardcore. He was getting them in the streets. He was flipping 3 birds a week and here chasing boy booty.
In the jail. He's a boy, a booty chase. And then look, that's what I think, man. Based on my analogies, like I said, Diddy, like he come from that type of background where he can extort the extortion, that extortion, that type of energy. So,
Look,
so, so it
the
don't be.
Diddy situation is bigger than what y'all think.
Go ahead.
Everybody just looking at his depraved events and all that. So far, they haven't really mentioned no real criminal
Yeah, really.
activity
Maybe.
with evidence. Listen, what I'm saying, David. They've introduced allegations,
Yeah.
but we haven't seen any evidence to support the allegations. They say they got it on tape. We ain't seen no leaked footage,
Right. Right.
right? We seen leaked footage of the snowman raping that little girl on Lolita Express, and the other one on the beach
Yeah.
on the island. Those leaked back in the day,
Yeah.
right? Long before we even heard of Epstein, those leaked.
Right. Right.
So it ain't no secret about what Bill Clinton was doing. He on video,
Right.
right? And everybody that was doing the dirt is on video, and everybody that wasn't involved in no dirt, they could be on camera, but they ain't on camera doing no dirt. Somebody
Right.
had to lay eyes on that bullshit.
Right. So what you said is when they got Diddy's cameras, it's more than Diddy. So like if it could be governors, this whole card deck could fall with this what Diddy had. Diddy just had no regular cats coming to this party. He had Shaq and his whole family. Shaq and his whole family.
He had the Reverend there. What the hell?
Yeah.
More than one Reverend, y'all. Everybody stuck on TD Jakes. It was more than one of the. You might see Kurt Franklin in one of them freaky ass videos.
For sure. Him and Plies. They say Kurt Franklin look like Plies. That's funny. Yeah, but
I heard they related. I don't know if it's true.
yeah, they could be true. They look alike. I know he'll Plies in Washington. But this is my next question I got for you. Like,
Look, Jamie Foxx aired his whole ass out.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx. Yeah,
Liar.
yeah.
Gonna talk all that gangster shit, and then want to do some turncoat ass snitch shit.
He's scared. Jamie Foxx said he was scared. Yeah, yeah. Jamie stay in Terrell, Texas, out there. Yeah. So this is what I was gonna ask you next. Well, he probably stay in LA now, but I know he got a house in Terrell. Now, do you think that when Diddy went to that hospital, said that he had like a little episode, and then all of a sudden he come back, it don't really look like the same dude? You think they could have possibly switched him out with a lookalike? Diddy got lookalikes or clones?
There's at least 3 Diddies I didn't see.
Man, I know it's at least
One
3.
of them looked like somebody air inflated his face.
Yep, that's the one I'm talking about. The one that came back out to the hospital. That's the one they brought back in there.
Yeah, you got a couple of them. Like somebody lumped his ass up. I call him Fat Daddy.
That dude. And then I saw Diddy's son. Like I saw somebody said, "Man, how you feel about your dad in jail?" And then they could show like a $500,000 watch, and he was like, "Man, it's like the look on his face, like, nigga, my dad ain't in jail. Y'all, if y'all only knew, like, I just get left with my dad just a minute ago. Like this nigga showing a $500,000 Richard Mille. You know what I'm saying? Like they like we still got it. Like, so I'm thinking this is all just a hype. The elites don't let the other elites go down unless, why would they let Diddy burn? Besides, he got pissed off about
you will become expendable. See, Diddy was doing some things that benefited his people. And this is what made him so this nigga going too far. He got too big for his britches now.
Yeah. Yeah, he did talk political, start talking political, started going talking about your own political party. He was going to being the connection with the black traditional culture that he got was connected with Bumpy. That's a bad look. He been watched. But like, let me ask you this though: who you think? Because we're talking about secret societies, and let's go back to Clyde Davis and the guys that started Diddy, and L.A. Reid and these guys. So what you think happened to Diddy? Did these guys introduce Diddy to the secret societies? And
You just named the club of booty bandits.
where L.A. Reid, Clyde Davis, who else? Who was
All
it?
of them.
Yeah,
Larry Cohen,
yeah.
Jimmy
They
Iovine,
run together. They all run together.
all of them. The only one of them that look like they on the up and up so far from what I've seen been Rick Rubin. The rest of them is a piece of shit.
Yeah. Rick Rubin is the one they labeled as crazy. He a crazy white boy. He be having he
Yeah, but
spread shit in his
he
broad.
he didn't put his money where his mouth at, so I can't say nothing about him till I catch him wrong. Then I can dig into his cheeks. I
Yeah, I
can't
like
dig into him right now because he got too many receipts where he did stuff to help us, in
he
that
one of them.
industry.
He one of them ones though. Rick Rubin one of them ones. He one of them like them peacetime white boys, like from way like remember when they had that '70s movement, the hippie movement, where it was like
Mhm.
all love, man, it's peace, man. Why you tripping, man? He like one of those type of guys. That's how Rick Rubin.
Stoners, they call
Man,
them stoners.
yeah, hit this bong, man, and be cool, man. You gotta chill, man. Embrace the universal love and everything, man. He one of those type of guys. That's how Ruben is. And then he's a producer, man. Like I used to study. I'm a producer, so I used to study Rick Rubin and his how he produced for LL Cool J, Jay Z, pretty much the whole
Run
Def Jam.
DMC.
Yeah, Run DMC back
He
then.
did some of his best work with Run
Yeah,
DMC.
that's right. That's
He was
right.
a youngster then.
Yeah, yeah. I think he produced that woke up dun dun that woke up quick just about noon. Just thought I just had to be in company soon. I think he
I don't
produced
I
that
don't know. I never heard that before.
the cruising down the street.
Cruising down the street, my
My
six
seat
fuck.
for dun dun do do do
They
do.
could have borrowed it from him. For as
Yeah,
far as I know,
yeah,
that's a
that's
Dr.
his
Dre beat.
style. That's his style. That's he on that. He the one that made that transition, like that helped DMC cross over to the rock and roll transition with the hip hop mix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that
And
Aeros walked
boys,
his way with Aerosmith, put them over the top with the rock audience.
I'm telling you, man, made them boys trillionaires when he made them put that when they pushed it when they got with Kid Rock and all that. Oh yeah, them boy went to a whole other time zone when they talking about
And
getting
look,
money.
sometimes Kid Rock be doing some stuff that looks so racist.
Yeah,
But I seen Kid Rock when he was a teenager.
right, right.
And he used to have niggas with him.
Yeah,
And he used to have niggas bullying him too. That's what made him start hanging with brothers.
yeah.
That's how he got in the rap scene.
Wow, I didn't
He
know
was
that.
a DJ. He started off as a DJ.
Huh.
He let people bleed that racist shit, but he ain't really with that shit.
Somebody said, what did Queen Latifah go to like be? Because we know her as this sister, this African centristic sister, Black Power type sister, and then she go on the Rainbow Project type thing because they did the In Living
If
Color.
you didn't know
Yeah,
if you didn't know she liked women when she first came out, then you behind the curve.
right. I mean, yeah, you can say that. Go ahead and say it, then, bro. Go ahead and
Look,
say it.
we not mad about people's preference. We mad about people pushing preferences on children.
That's right, bro. Speak on it.
I don't care what you do in your bedroom,
Go ahead.
but you just don't be taking toddlers in there with you while you doing it.
That's right. Talk to him, bro.
Right? We don't care about what grown folks do between themselves. And then now they got the audacity that if somebody
Yeah,
grown, they still calling people pedophiles now. If it's an age gap, that's wrong.
right,
They either old enough to fuck or they ain't.
right.
They
Right.
if they old enough to give it up according to the legal standard that we got across the land, then this say it's just their choice at that point.
Right.
Stay out of other folks' business.
Right. Mind your own damn business. That part. Yeah, I'm with that too, y'all. You know what I'm saying? If you grown, that's your business. Don't, that's your business. Just don't be messing with the kids.
5-year old, 6-year old, 7-year old is not mentally competent enough to tell you they're the other gender.
Yeah, right?
At that age, the only reason why they even having a gender conversation is because some twisted minded adult start telling them about gender and sex. Kids don't
Right.
are not interested in adult energy things unless an adult present it to them.
Right.
People need to be offended when somebody else tell your child some freaky shit like it's normal. You ain't even supposed to tell babies 5, 6, 7 years old about regular sex, let alone some, oh, you look like you wanted to be a girl in your past life. Let me
Yeah,
dress you up
yeah,
and put this dress on you.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, don't ruin that baby.
I noticed that's another thing about secret societies. That gives me another question, Rod. It seemed like to me when I studied the scriptures and everywhere where it says this is the abomination. They say, like in Deuteronomy, it says this is the abomination for a man to put on a woman's clothes, like for a man to put on a dress and high heels, right? It seemed like to me in like the Baphomet and a few other secret societies, you gotta perform those rituals just to be a part of it. You gotta put on a dress. It's like Will Smith, all of them, Martin Lawrence, they all had to put on. That's abomination. They had to do an abomination. Speaking of abomination, right? Obama passed
It's a
all the law.
humiliation. It's a humiliation ritual. It's
Go
the
ahead.
passport at $100 million or
Go
$40
ahead.
million, whatever the passport
Yeah.
is.
Right.
You either put this dress on, get fucked in the ass, or get shot in the ass. It's your choice.
Yeah. I guess Denzel went with the bullet in the butt. Denzel went with the bullet. Hey, I might have took the bullet too, though, Denzel. I don't think you touch it. Hey man, you can shoot me. Hey man. Hey man, for real. Training day, they shot him for
Yeah.
real in his ass. Everybody know about
So,
it.
what's the purpose of a humiliation ritual?
Go ahead. That's yeah. Go ahead. Break that down.
The humiliation ritual is to take a part of a person from them
Right.
in exchange for a benefit.
Hmm.
You take a piece of innocence from a person, and that piece of innocence you took from them is going to pay off for you, and then you got to pay them.
Hmm.
That's what
That's
they call selling your soul, being humiliated. And some people in good kind, like for instance, Flip Wilson dressed up like Geraldine for years,
mm-hmm.
right? And um, it wouldn't have been a humiliation ritual to make him put on the dress in the movie because he's not perceived as being above reproach in regards to confusing the genders,
Right.
right? But somebody like Red Fox, they put him in one,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? That's humiliating to him.
It is.
He's
It
a
was.
he's a man's man. He don't want to be looked at no kind of ways feminine, but we gonna make him wear a dress in the name of comedy,
Right.
right? You thinking that they laughing with you and they laughing at you. He know
Right.
what's going on. That's why he ain't want to do it. It's the
Right.
same with all the other ones that protested, like Cat Williams. He don't want to do it.
Right.
He not finna let them humiliate him, and that shows you the level of regard that he hold himself.
Right. Right.
Right, a lot of people don't hold themselves in high enough regard to know that it's certain things that you can't put a price on. If everything you have has a price, you have very little value as a person.
Right. Right. They want you to perform these rituals, and then once you get to a certain point, he wants you to give up some blood, sacrifice somebody
The
close to
blood
you.
sacrifice is a whole different thing.
Okay.
When they start taking blood sacrifices for people, that means that they already got that person. Now we got what we want from you. You got to give us something else, right? But most of the sacrifices that we be thinking these people, oh, Kanye sacrificed his mama. Sometimes they just take them. They'll just take them. They take who they want because they already got your ass. Now they trying to take what you love the most from you. That's why they shot Ennis Cosby. They want to take what you love, the people you love, out of your life in order to make you miserable as possible. Everybody that they're accusing of sacrificing somebody, they probably didn't necessarily sacrifice, but somebody probably sacrificed them on their behalf. It's like when you and your homeboy go sign a record deal, they really want you, right? But in order to put your homeboy on, you saying y'all together. But your homeboy, he want to be the artist, the solo artist, and he want to break free and go solo, right? He can let you get took out the box. And guess who still got the contract?
He do. Same thing that happened to Takeoff, like somebody said in the comments with the Migos.
Yeah.
Quavo goes solo, Offset goes solo. Rather take to me, Takeoff was really one of the best rappers out of the group. You know, but that's another thing because we still talking about secret societies sacrificing because they've been doing all of this stuff for a long time. It seemed
But a
like
lot of it don't happen like people think it happens.
go ahead.
When you can control energy, you don't have to always do the sacrifice the way people think,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? They do more stuff in those lodges than they actually do to people. But the work that they do in the lodge, it creates an energy that causes a problem for some people.
Right.
And in the midst of that problem, you might not survive it.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So a lot of things that's going on right now, like being what they showed us in the what they showed us into the Super Bowl rituals, and
Mhm.
with how they said that pretty much what they decode is saying that it's about to be hard times in America, and that
It's already hard times in this
yeah,
motherfucker. The
pretty
fuck
much.
about to be. Look, we the only people in the world, the ones over here on this land. We don't care what your skin color is. Think that we got it so good and it's so much better in so many other places around the world because of less government involvement in people's day to day lives. Over here, they one step from micromanaging our ass, telling us when to wake up and when to go to sleep. Right? It can't get no more messed up than it is.
Damn,
You got people fighting each other because they lighter or darker than each other.
damn.
You don't know who in your ancestral line. It's too much creeping go on in the human family. Motherfuckers slide out with the neighbor, the lady in the penthouse, whatever the case may be. It's a whole lot of creeping going on. You can't be sure if you've been in America over 100 years in your bloodline. You can't be sure that you ain't got some cut on you somewhere.
Hey, somebody asked, it says, do you have to do opposite magic to combat their rituals?
Sometimes you can't do nothing to combat them because of the amount of power that they're using. You can only offset it by trying to walk a righteous path, and you still gonna have energy upset because of their work. But a lot of times we have what's called defensive magic.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive magic is used, and then you got protection magic. So defensive magic is fighting fire with fire.
Uh-huh.
Protection magic is putting up a force field to block their attack so you don't have to fight them.
Uh-huh.
And that's the difference in the two.
Hey, somebody said, How do the more Zionist Jews or the Black Hand keep the pale face in check after all these years due to that dirty work, doing their dirty work?
Because they know who's in charge and they know where they at, and they go have meetings with them, and they threaten. They use threats of violence on your whole fucking. They'll erase your bloodline. They erase your whole bloodline. They'll blow a city up just to get rid of one family. They don't. They
Hey,
know who they're dealing with. They have no conscience. They have no. Especially when it comes to warfare. That's why the Roman maxim, all is fair, love, and war. No matter if you fall in love with your best friend's wife, you better holler at her. That's fair because you fell in love. Nigga, you better get her ass in there and sit down somewhere and get out of my motherfucking face. I don't want his woman, I want mine. But you got them, they don't care. It's all fair. All that shit fair. Killing babies, raping babies, it's all fair to them. It's not fair to us.
damn.
This is you don't understand the wickedness of your enemy. That's why you won't never mount up an accurate defense against his wickedry. Because what he's willing to do, you're not willing to do. And he'd just be willing to do it just for fun, where you wouldn't be willing to do it sometime to save another person's life. Because it's too repugnant to who you are. This is how we know us from them. We do a
Somebody,
whole
hey,
lot of dirt, we start having nightmares. They do a whole lot of dirt, they sleep better.
somebody asked, they said, Larry, who was out of jail? You heard anything about that, Rod?
I listened to a guy who writes what's called paradoxical um literature, and he did a paradoxical release based on Kanye West, but I haven't heard anything on the official channels. But it wouldn't surprise me if he was.
Only can mean one thing. Doc for to get out too.
They all
Larry
gonna
out. Doc.
they got to get out.
Yeah, they gotta let him out.
It's just we gotta. So what you seeing? Since we're gonna get into it now, let me roll my sleeves up a little bit.
Yeah, I
Give
think
y'all,
this is the time
give y'all
they,
some
they all
insight.
get out. All the chiefs get out. Go
Okay,
ahead.
remember, the Republic is responsible for liquidating the corporation. In order to liquidate an asset or a set of assets, you have to inventory the assets. You have to know where everything that's been used was used at. You have to know what's remaining in the coffers that's usable.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
only way to do that is a series of audits of every aspect of the corporation.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Everybody worrying about Elon Musk gonna take their data and use it against them. Elon Musk don't give a damn about your data. He just want to be involved in something that can erase his family's South African history off of his conscience.
Deep. It's deep.
There is no mining company anywhere in the world that didn't force people to work in unsafe and harsh conditions. None. And the people that was running these operations in third world countries, the people that was the employees was expendable to death. That means when we get done, which we just as soon kill you and let you go home.
Somebody said, what's the deal with Big Meech? I thought he was a chief and with the ratting and all that. What's the connection?
Read it again, Elder.
It says right here, I'm gonna put it on the screen for you. Right here, let me roll it back up. God dang. Is that it? Okay. Hold on, hold on. Oh shit. Hold on. Right here. Since I thought Big Meech was a chief, does he know he's a chief?
Um, right now, Big Meech is trying to get his personal affairs in order.
Okay.
He know he a chief, but he don't know his influence yet. It haven't became to his awareness the influence he had teaching those young boys how to live with money and the necessity for him to continue that function. He's trying to reestablish his leadership over his clan right now, right? Whatever he went through is now lessons for him to use in teaching further. He's not gonna stop teaching the young boys that like to be up under him how to carry themselves and conduct themselves like a man with money. But first, he had to go through the hard decision to be his own man or let another man tell him how to live his life.
Right.
And this is a classic example of how a chief gonna respond. He gonna do what he want to do, and I don't care what it got to do with you. You know, I appreciate what you did, but I'm still gonna do what I want to do. I fuck with who fuck with me.
Yeah,
Uh,
they trying to say that Big Meech, because I'm keeping my ears to the streets, and they just say trying to say that Big Meech ran a Ponzi scam to set Kofi, whatever his name is, up with Tammy. Tammy is the one that he signed his paperwork, his legal as his for fiduciary agent for his big BMF and his name brand while he was in prisons. Allegedly, they saying that Big Meat set up a drug deal with Kofi, with Tammy, his fiduciary agent, being the middleman, and then the whole time she was working with the feds, the killer clowns, and that Kofi is now serving 27 years off of that particular thing that Big Meech was involved with, and it was like another one or two other guys. Supposedly the same thing happened to, and they saying that should Big Meech, if Big Meech is guilty of this, and they got everybody, they got the dude on the phone from jail. They got Kofi saying that Big Meech on his paperwork. Uh,
they're not saying Big Meech on their
no,
paperwork.
no, they didn't say Big Meech. It
They
said
said that lady on their paperwork.
yeah, and they didn't even say her name. They just said that she was C1, like informant, confidential informant one. They didn't even say
Mhm.
Tammy. So like we don't know if it was Tammy or not for sure. But that's the rumors that it
But
was
listen,
Tammy. Go
if
ahead.
you understand how the feds work,
Go ahead.
then you can see right exactly what's happening. They leveraged her, right? And they can refuse to give her a benefit and transfer the benefit, but they leveraged her. They do it all the time. They did it to Sammy the Bull in order to get John Gotti. They leveraged it,
Damn.
right? People be, if you don't know how to read law, reading a lot of these cases will confuse you about who's doing what, right? Um, Big Meech, he his own dude, his own guy. I have never, other than that event where they saying that the lady set them up, I never heard his name involved in nothing like that.
Right.
So
Right.
the feds will do it to disgrace his name. That's called hang him in effigy.
That makes sense too, though, Rod. That do make sense. Now that make a lot of sense, there.
And mind you, I'm not defending him because I don't know nothing about the case to the degree where I can properly
Right.
defend him. But I can tell you who he was from the work he was doing and from where he from and the codes that go with it. But I don't know for sure that what we looking at not as a setup because he don't have no history of sitting on the stand.
Right.
If you a rat, you a rat. You're gonna sit on the
And
stand, you're
he
gonna
ain't
tell
supposed
it
to
in
be
the police
tired.
car and at the station.
what he told to get 2 or 3 years off. I mean, like some of the stuff just don't add all the way up to me though. He did 25 years already. I mean, how you tell on somebody to get to still get do 25? I mean, you about to get out anyway. You only got to do 20. Well, in the feds, what you got to do almost 80-90% of your time. So he's about to get out anyway. So I mean, he pretty
Yeah,
much did all of his time.
they only gave him like 20-some years, didn't he?
You know what I'm saying? He got a 30
So
piece.
it was time for him to get out anyway. So
So it
I
don't
don't
like,
see him doing that, and there's no benefit in it. There's no benefit in that shit.
yeah, it's something
And
to say.
he ain't that dumb because he was able to tell us, you know what I'm saying, about how his brother got trapped up using the phone. He
Yeah,
didn't. He said that nobody. He said didn't nobody catch him for flossing, and none of his guys like that. They didn't catch them with a whole bunch of dope in the car trying to get away. They laced them up off phone call conversations only.
yeah, yeah.
Right. So it just don't sound right, man. Then he took a cop. He took a plea agreement. And a stand-up dude gonna be a stand-up dude. If he wasn't a stand-up dude, the word gonna come out behind that Fed joint, and they gonna be like, "Big beat you piece of shit." But until you hear them niggas in the joint tell you that, the feds will make a motherfucker look dirty, and
That's
they
that make
will they'll put a dude in the back of a known unmarked police car, roll the window down, and drive slow through his hood so
yeah,
everybody can see him.
yeah. I just saw that happen. I know for a fact you ain't lying.
So, and then knowing the reach that he have in the community, I can go out right now in Pontiac and to any crowded event and scream BMF, and them niggas gonna throw their hands up.
Yeah, yeah,
I go to Detroit, scream BMF, them niggas gonna throw their hands up. Same with Atlanta. They love Big Meech.
yeah.
But right now, Big Meech is rebuilding his life in order for him to perform his function properly.
But that might put a
You
nail
gotta
on him
have an
right there.
opportunity to rebuild.
Well, so that a bit would be a good strategy for them to tear their brother down to stop him from whatever else he could do by labeling him as a rat, bringing him, letting him go back on the streets as a
That's the
rat.
worst thing you can be in the street. The worst reputation to have in the street is the reputation of being a rat. Because don't
Exactly.
nobody want to do business with you. Nobody want to do no stick ups with you. Don't nobody want to do no burglaries with you. What you on your own? You
Yeah.
are island to yourself at that point. Dudes ain't messing with you like that. Every now and then you might bump into another rat that got some heart, and y'all could do some super rat shit together. But that ain't even common.
I think they're gonna use 50 to go to squad the rest of the Big Meech whole get down. I think they're gonna use 50 because 50 man, he's suspect to be with the police. I heard a lot of stories, and then you come to my city and then you pay the police, you get a police all the money. You know what I'm saying? We
You
don't
got
need
to
more
also
police.
go back to Rampart.
Go
You
ahead.
got to remember, police be off duty, moonlighting as security.
Yeah, yeah,
And who the
yeah.
best security to have?
Police.
I rest my case.
Hey. But then they be walking around with a bulletproof
Look,
vest on,
check
bumping
this
your
out.
face out, like nigga, you better not do nothing to me. You got the cops with you, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
You
Oh,
remember
nigga,
murder was you remember murder was the case?
yeah, with Snoop.
Right. Remember Snoop bodyguard? That dude was shooting, he shot back.
Yeah,
Somebody in there. Okay, now had he been a police officer and did exactly the same thing, nobody would have ever got charged.
yeah, that's right.
Because he already know what to say in order for nobody not to get charged. Most of us get charged because we don't know what to say when the police stop us. And the best thing we can say is not a goddamn word.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? And
And
if you feel like
they
you just
also
gotta say something, just flat out tell them I don't talk to police at
police
all.
got a liability, meaning that they ain't responsible. That so if a police pop somebody,
They
the
got
police,
qualified immunity,
yeah,
not a liability. It's called qualified
yeah, that's
immunity.
what's called. Yeah,
You
Yeah.
got to remember, the police is literally a policing force of a foreign agency that's occupying our land.
Right. Exactly.
It's the same way you put UN troops on the ground. They just
Right.
don't call them UN police. Same shit.
Yeah. Same fucking shit.
They
Same.
charter go back to London, England. They police handbook go back to London, England. They instructional manual come from London, England. If London, England is dictating how they supposed to be operating, then that's who own them. They got their charter, that's who own them.
Mm-hmm.
They don't work for us. All that serve the community and serve and protect bullshit. That's not why they here.
For every protect, you're right.
They
And
here to
so
break a nigga neck,
they beat right
put
the
him in
heat
the chokehold, shoot him in the
right.
back.
That shoot them in the back, then throw them in the river. Hey, look, you heard about that? I'm glad you said something about that, Ron. They just found a grave site in Mississippi where they found about 300 black brothers buried in unmarked grave sites, and most of these brothers was either killed in the jail down there or shot in the back by the police in that particular town. And what caused them to find them?
Yeah,
Find
that's over a year old.
Okay, it's a year old. Okay, you seen that,
It's
right?
over a year old.
Okay, okay. You know, so you got anything on that? Like how
No,
is that happening, man? Like in Mississippi, man.
listen, when you don't have your people checking on you when you locked up, you might not make it.
That's why I say check on your people, man.
Yeah, check on your people. If you got
Oh
people locked
yeah.
up, you save their life by letting the system know you care about your people.
Go ahead. Say it
And
again.
sometimes they can't even get out because they had no visit. They did a 5-year bid, didn't get no visits. He might have to do 5 more years for not having no family involvement.
Damn. That's
They
deep.
call it flopping them. They'll flop them,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then
Oh, oh.
they'll tell him some lame ass excuse like we don't think you psychologically prepared for the streets or some bullshit.
Yeah, I seen that happen too, Raw. They just instead of letting like they say they only got 4 years left and they can they supposed to get out for parole. They'll say, oh no, well, and deny
Come
them.
back and see us in 4 years,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
And then they have been had them tied up into something else by that time. If it ain't, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the last brother that they buried there is what got him busted. He got hit by the police, ran him over, and then buried him out there. And his mother went to go
I
look
only
for him.
got one question.
Yeah.
Do you think that shit new?
No, that's been going Mississippi now. You talking about Mississippi? You talking about Mississippi, man? I'm talking about they been
Anywhere in this
in
country
Texas
since
too.
everywhere since 1492, that is not uncommon across the land.
Okay. Yeah,
They've
I
been
see it.
killing us, burying us,
Yeah,
making us disappear.
Rosewood. We can call a couple springs out. Tulsa, Oklahoma.
You, yeah. The only thing they ain't doing now is burning down whole cities like they used to.
Damn, boy, that's a cold piece. I want to do the feds come in? Who come in to do something about that?
You
Like do the
guys remember
town?
the feds ain't even 100 years old. They just not about to turn 100,
Yeah, that's right. What 1920 something? Yeah,
right?
real
And
1906. They turned the 1906 is when they started. They turned into the feds like in the 20s when JF Hoover took over. 21, 22. Yeah, it's almost about right at 100 years.
hey, my boy KC sent me something he wanted me to make mention of. It was the what you call that? Cherokee had an agreement.
Uh huh.
Remember I told you Noble Drew Ali used to be able to go into the courtroom or send a grand sheet
Uh
and
huh.
they go in there and get you out.
Right.
This was because it was a treaty.
Okay.
Let me find it. I got time, but yes, Check this out.
Cherokee Treaty of 1866 with the United States. Article 2. Amnesty is hereby declared by the United States and the Cherokee Nation for all.
Hey, play it, Rod. We can hear it clear too. It's real clear. Play it again.
All crimes and misdemeanors committed by one Cherokee on the person or property of another Cherokee or of a citizen of the United States prior to the 4th day of July 1866, and no right of action arising out of wrongs committed in aid or in the suppression of the rebellion shall be prosecuted or maintained in the courts of the United States or in the courts of the Cherokee Nation. But the Cherokee Nation stipulate and agree to deliver up to the United States or their duly authorized agent any or all public property, particularly ordnances, stores, arms of all kinds, and quartermaster stores in their possession or control, which belong to the United States or the so-called Confederate States, without any reservation. Cherokee Treaty of 1866 with the United States. Article 2. For more content like this, you can always visit Treaty Talk.
So you see, that was after a rebellion
Okay.
in 1866. Actually, this is remember the war 1812, right?
Right.
Then they had to renegotiate. They renegotiating treaties. This one don't get settled to 1866.
Okay.
By the time it's settled, the Cherokee Confederacy, or the Cherokee Alliance, I should say, had seized a whole bunch of holdings of the corporation as
Mm.
tribal assets.
I'll go ahead.
So they gave them a treaty that said that if the U.S. corporation was to catch a Cherokee, they can't hold them for criminal um, charges. They have to release them to the Cherokee Nation. Okay, now, do you remember what tribe Noble Drew Ali was the high
Cherokee.
chief of?
Cherokees.
So when he's exercising treaty rights, he was able to send those grand chiefs that was in good standing to go into the courtroom because you had nothing to do with the debt that they had incurred settling over here on our territory.
Right.
So when whoever it was went behind Noble Drew Ali back, signed some kind of contract with the corporation to do their work inside of the Morris Science Temple.
Man, it could have been Kirkland. Look, hey man,
Look,
oh,
we
wait, go
don't
ahead.
accuse nobody. The records is there.
Yeah, it's there.
They have the records. So don't say C. Kirkman Bay. Don't say Mealy Yield. Right. Don't say who else was what was the other guy named Gibbons Hill,
Lomax. Lomax. We know Lomax.
Lomax Bay. Look, the reason why I'm saying that because a lot of the Moors have taken alliances and chose sides with these different people,
Right.
and none of them might not be the guilty party. But whoever the guilty party is they signature is whose signature is giving them permission to call a Moorish American a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
Noble Drew Ali wouldn't have never did it because he understood
Yeah.
the treaties.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said when I heard them the Moors Canaanite guys talking about, oh yeah, well we U.S. citizens. I say, man, that sound like totally against what Noble Drew Ali. They saying that Noble Drew Ali taught this. I'm saying, man, it don't line up. That don't
He
line up.
told, you know what Noble Drew Ali said about these people? He said, don't be flashing your nationality card in their face.
Right.
Don't be running up on them trying to belittle them. You stay out their business. You keep your wrongdoing out the eyesight of the public, and you let them go about their business, and you stay out their way.
Right. He did say that.
Sometimes they have to interact in different forms of day-to-day life. And in that case, if something happened that resulted in a criminal charge, a grand sheik's supposed to be able to come in and get you out. It's been usurped.
Right.
So now the grand sheik going in there to get you out, his ass might get arrested too.
Yeah. And it's all intimidation, and we don't give a damn. We criminals anyway, so we ain't gotta listen to you. We criminals. This is criminal. We commit crimes here, really technically. So what you saying? We know you talking law, but we criminals. We don't give a damn. A criminal don't give a damn about you talking no law. They gonna lock your behind up anyway.
The
They
only
criminals.
reason why they give us the title of criminal is because all crime is commercial.
That's right.
And as a commercial enterprise, you have to identify the person that you are charging with a crime
Right.
so you can get paid.
Right. It's all about getting paid. It's nothing. It's nothing personal. It's all business, pretty much.
The dollar done got a whole bunch of people in the huckabuck, I'm telling you. A lot of good people done got caught up in some nasty stuff about that
Yeah,
money.
yeah, over some money, man. I done seen some. Yeah, you right. I done seen some people get took out, man. They ain't came. They ain't coming back for a couple dollars. For a couple, not. I know. I'm talking about less than 100. 200-300. He gone. Yeah, hey, two
All I
people.
know, the last $2,
Man,
I'm not gonna lose.
some people
The
don't play about
last
their money, man.
$2.
I ain't gonna lie though. Some people don't play about their money.
Mm.
They go. They
But see,
go.
if you don't learn certain key principles about money, you will always find yourself falling out with people about money.
Right. That
You
makes
remember
sense.
that nigga that owed you $20 and you forgot to go get it?
Yeah.
That nigga had that $20. He ain't gonna ask you for no more money as long as he know he owe you $20.
Right. Let him have a
Because
$20.
he already know you don't put good money on top of bad money. And who knows, one day he might come across some lump sum of money and be like, you know what, let me get out this $20 I owe him.
Yeah.
And you might just be so desperate need of $20. My man be like, here, take this $20. Matter of fact, here, take a couple extra for waiting for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You can't give people what you can't afford to lose.
Right. It make a
Right?
lot of
You
sense.
see people dipping their bill money to lend somebody money, that's a no-no.
Right.
That's a
Yeah.
no-no. You never go in your bill money to lend somebody money.
That's facts.
Period.
My
You
big
if you
mama said it.
if you have to go in your bill money to lend them money, you don't have it to lend them.
Right. My big mama used to say it just like you just said it. That's what.
Yeah. My father used to say don't put good money on top of bad money.
That's big.
Oprah the one told me if you can't afford to give it to him, you can't afford to lend it to him.
Right. Hey man, we over time now. Hey y'all, we got 1,500 people on. I think everybody had a little way more than that, but we got 1,500 on now. Hey, everybody, I want to show Rod some love. Hit him on the cash app, man. Everybody send him $1 right now to put him in the game. You want to send him more than that? We'll love that too, man. So we can keep him going and keep him watching on the land, keep him doing his job, man. Because Rod is one of our decoders, and we in the time right now where it's a lot of alchemy. They getting real heavy duty on their alchemy now. I noticed the stuff that they doing with the planes falling, all this shit. So
That ain't even alchemy there. That's just a
yeah,
fucking electronic control system.
yeah, electronic control systems. With talking about the black, like the symbolicness, with the Black Hawk hitting it's just like symbolicness. They into this creepy shit, man. Like we got to make it hit this way at this particular time on this particular date, at this particular longitude and latitude, and we got to have this guy standing out there with his finger in his ass right at the right time with the wind blowing to the east. Yeah, they got these motherfuckers go all the way out, man.
But look what you're describing. You describing what's called optimum conditions.
Go ahead.
In order to use the energy harness, you have to activate the energy under controlled conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And Now you know the master numbers, you know the stellar alignments, you know
Mm-hmm.
that it's required that you on your way out, so you got to create chaos. So you
Right.
line all that shit up together and then tell them exactly what they need to be doing.
Right. That makes sense.
Crash
That
the
makes sense.
helicopter, crash the plane, drive a
That makes
bus
sense.
off the bridge,
Yep.
crash a bridge with a barge, all that stuff, and then it's all coded.
Yep. Yep. That makes sense. That makes sense. Hey, y'all, as always, we're going to be back. We love you all. We said peace and love throughout the boundless universe. Freedom Master Teacher Dr. Malachi Z. York. Free Larry Hoover. Free Rashard Jamal. Free Chief Angel Malik L. Bay, man. Jeff Fort, man. Hey, man, I just feel like this is the time where the people that got done wrong, like Doc and all them, they finna get that relief. And but I already know when they walk out of there, they still gonna say, "Damn, man, I did that fucking all that time, man." Just and then finally, these motherfuckers finally realized that I got set up.
My
I
only thing, elder, I want all of my elders, the ones that's locked up and that's not, that didn't put in these years of work, to have the opportunities to enjoy what's left of their life.
right,
They
right.
don't got to do nothing else.
Right. That's why I say you ain't gonna be asking no. They think they finna get Doc out and be asking him 10,000 questions. Man, y'all ain't finna ask Doc shit. Doc gonna sit on the porch, drink his tea, and enjoy his fucking life. He already 80 years old. Think y'all finna question him to the ground into the ground when he get out. You know what I'm saying? It's
But
like that part.
you know how Pops is. It depends on how you feel.
Yeah, he one of them. He one of them. He like to talk like me. He like to talk. So Doc, you get him started, he'll go 10 hours on you. But like I'm saying, you know what I mean though. Doc 80 years old. Think they put 10,000 niggas lining up to question them all day and night. That just ain't gonna happen nowadays, man. I'm just saying.
It's
We
gonna
ain't
be a
gonna let it
whole.
happen.
It's gonna be a whole bunch of Nubians, Sabians, Hebrew, more what's it called, Nubian Islamic Hebrew. They go. It's gonna be a whole lot of them gonna be had their feelings hurt when Pops come home because he ain't fucking with them niggas. Them niggas ain't no good.
Right. It should be enough niggas out here that can answer. It should be enough Wu Sabat niggas out here that can answer most of all the questions anyway. By
It's
now,
not about answering the questions at this point. They
right,
have internal loyalties one to another that override their loyalties apart,
right, right.
and they eating off Pops.
That's
But
right.
their loyalties is to each other because that's who they know. That's who they've been with, right?
Right.
Even though they eating off Pops, their loyalty is to the person that they've been eating off Pops with,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And he gonna have a whole new um setup when he come home. He not gonna do the same dumb shit.
man. Yeah, like Doc.
He not gonna repeat none of the mistakes he made before. And he not gonna a lot of people that he got love for. He not gonna fuck with him, not because he don't got love for him. It's because when they had the opportunity to stand with him, they left. Or
Right,
they stood silent while he was persecuted.
right,
Right. It's a lot of people that stood silent knowing that it was made up. And there was people in them rooms that seen the plot being hatched, the
and did.
step by step rollout, and they never said nothing.
Yep,
And
yep,
then they say they love Pops.
yep.
You know, I never been to the land while Pops was out. I went when I came home from prison, and it wasn't the same as it was. But I'm gonna tell you this: you can't keep eating off people and don't give something back out of respect, out of gratitude,
Right,
out of love, because they created a condition which you can build your life without being a slave to the system.
right.
It's not a whole lot of communities out there that's got their stuff so smooth where you can live in that community and not have to interact as a slave to the system.
Right,
And Bible had the fastest growing one when they stopped it.
right,
The most longest standing one now is Nation of Islam,
right,
right?
right,
So when you look at who's doing work, even some of the tribes, They got tribes that's recognized by the government, but they don't do nothing to help nobody. They don't even half help their own tribe,
Damn.
right? All of the ones that's supposed to be the leadership, they living high on the hog, but they not supporting the rest of the tribe.
Man, that's crazy.
It's just like these civil rights niggas took all these checks, marching, getting these $200,000-300,000 houses in the 70s.
Right? Right?
That mean them mugs be going for a cool meal,
Yeah,
5 to 3 meal right now.
easy. They over meal right now. If it was 300 back then, son. Oh my
And
mama.
they found that it was a lucrative enterprise to pretend to be a freedom fighter while you make sure the freedom fighter get murdered.
Damn. Cold
Fred
blood.
Hampton Mark Clark,
Cold piece right there, boy. That's a cold piece.
General George Jackson, Soledad brother,
Oh yeah, I'm about to do
Jonathan
it.
Jackson.
I gotta I still got that essay you that I supposed to be doing for you on that. I got it done. I just gotta put it out. So I'm gonna drop that too, the breakdown on George Jackson and pretty much the whole late get down on what happened with the with him setting up the gorilla the black gorilla family and all that, him and the other two guys. They got killed actually in prison. And look, it's a dude, one of the gorilla family guys got out of jail, and the day he paroled, went and killed the lady that the lawyer that set George Jackson them up. Hey, it ain't funny, but I'm just saying that the dude got out of jail, went and tried to kill the lady. I think she ended up getting shot like a whole bunch of times. She lived, but then died, committed suicide. I don't know. The shit was crazy how the story play out. But you'll hear it in the tape. But that guy, man, them black gorilla guys ain't nothing to play with, man. That guy paroled. That guy was waiting till he paroled just to go take that lady out that set George Jackson and them up. And he made sure he on the news, called everybody, and just so that he can go back to jail saying that he took out the people that set Georgia.
Look, that go back to a earlier time in the war
Mhm.
where we used to get accolades for striking down the enemy and bringing his corpse back to the community.
Well, that's deep.
Right now, if you strike down the enemy and drag that motherfucker corpse back, your whole community calling the police at the same time,
Damn.
and they can know that motherfucker the enemy.
That sure do sound about right, bro. That's cold.
They're conditioned that the system is there for them. They don't. It's hard for them to grasp the idea that the police and the court system belongs to a foreign corporation or foreign country.
And
It
they really
doesn't belong to us. And because they can't grasp that concept, when they see police cars rolling down the street, they don't know that's the same as a Chinese Communist Party police running down the street.
right,
They don't know it's the same thing
right,
because they've been seeing these police for so long, it become normalized.
right,
The police is not supposed to be on the land, and you're not even supposed to see law enforcement till you call for law enforcement.
right,
When you see them and ain't nobody call for them, that's not law enforcement. That's military occupation,
right. You deep,
right?
bro.
That's why they got the flak jackets and the flashlights and the multi-round semi-automatic handguns, the shotgun, the mace, the taser, the nets, the sirens on the cars, and all that bullshit.
Right. That's
Just
deep.
all identifying their military status. But
That,
because we've been so saturated with their presence, we believe it's normal. We believe that people commit crimes at an alarming rate, never knowing that all crime is manufactured,
right.
right? They put people in situations, and if they react the way they're supposed to act, sometimes they go into prison. Because
Right.
if a motherfucker walk up and slap you in the face, you're supposed to knock all his teeth out
And kick him in the balls.
and
Sign
kick him
my
in the balls. But
sign my
now, if you do that, they call it a provoked assault.
yeah, but hey, babe. Hey, babe, you got what you asked for. I'm minding my own business. La 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 la. Then some guy holler off, slap me, bow. Oh, now, man, see, he done turned me on now. See, you
Mhm.
turned me on. I'm turned on now.
People don't think you
That's
have a
how
right
deep.
to mind your own business, though.
Uh,
People tend to believe you don't have a right to mind your own business.
yeah, that's right.
Like
That's right.
even if, like, if you go right now and you watch a serial killer drama at the movies,
Go
right?
ahead.
Just overhear the conversation. So many people like, I'd have been called the police on him.
Mm,
That ain't what I be saying. I be like, I'd have been killed that nigga. That nigga did.
right.
Right? It's the difference in how you perceive the world when you believe that this foreign military occupation actually belong here and are actually part of our community when they're antagonistic to it.
Right. That's facts.
Right? The tribes can't function like tribes because you got these corporations that set up on tribal territory like the tribe is not there. They
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
GDs, Vice Lords, Peace Stones always been in Chicago before they had the name GDs, Vice Lords, and Peace Stones.
Right.
They the same clans. The only difference is under the modern banner of this wordplay. They don't call them tribes because then you know what's going on. They have to call them another name, so they choose to call them a gang.
Yeah.
G is the seven-letter made, and Ang is the avatar. Put that together. I'm
Man.
Gorilla Ride, GD Ride, motherfucker. Beating on my chest, pounding on the concrete, making these motherfuckers see me swinging from these lamp poles until we all free.
Yeah, it's going down. Skype ain't but the North Gate, man. When we knock, you got to bump straight. That's all it is, too.
Fighting back Gorilla Rays, fuck with me, I'll rattle your cage.
That gorilla
Motherfucker.
knock. That gorilla knock the door off your head. It sound like this. Blue, 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 blue. Sound like the police knocking out that gorilla knock. Whew. It's like the door about to come out the hinges when a nigga hit that gorilla knock on the door. Nigga like, hold up, man. Somebody out there. You gonna know that gorilla knock wake you up out your sleep. You know what I'm saying? Nigga
Yeah,
be in a
yeah.
dead sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Have motherfuckers going ape shit.
Man, we about to get up out of here, y'all. We gonna be back as always. You know how we do it. Hey, y'all, we love you all throughout the boundless universe to all. Hey, run, tell it like that. We the best there is, man. You know, we love you all, y'all. Hit that like, man. We'll see y'all later. One love, peace.